The Wellhopped World Series is a competition that we designed to encompass all the Charles Fairham hops grown in different countries around the world.
We have experts developing hops in America, Slovenia, Czech Republic, Poland and the UK.
It's really lemony, which is a bit more, it's not as sticky as remember.
So these plants are all going to go into the Wellhopped World Series competition, and what we're going to do now is just have a quick rub and sniff of some of these on the vine and just see if there's anything coming in here. It's very early, we're still in July, so the flavours are probably not as developed as they could be. We've had some tests on these done already, and we're already getting 11.5, 10.5% alpha on a couple of samples, which bodes well for good oil. And there's definitely something in there that's worth pursuing. Oh, yeah. There's definitely something in there aroma-wise. It's more floral and fruity characters
to it. Yeah. This is the 11.5 alpha. So it does have some promise.
You can just feel it in your hands. The oil's in there. There's definitely some oil in there, and I think that'll do a good job. And they look good agronomically as well. There's plenty of cones on there, well hopped all the way down the vine. I think these could be useful in terms of yield as well.
Very promising.
It takes about 5 years for the Charles Fairham programme, with our financial backing and expert teams, to develop a new variety, whereas other programmes can take up to 14 years.
Heavy onion.
Is this the shower gel?
Yeah, I think some of them to me maybe didn't belong in the high intensity table.
Yeah.
What we've got to do next from here now is to go along and make some selections really on which plants we take forward. We take some cuttings off these plants, and then next year we can plant those up even further, the ones that look really good. We wanted to get some brewing trials done in the winter so that we can make better informed selections. At the moment we're just getting green aromas off these, and there's some really nice aromas, but there's still some underdeveloped plants. If you look along the row here, we've got some which are in full cone and some which are still in burr phase, and that burr will come out and develop. So the ones that are in cone now will probably be pickable. If we were to grow them commercially, they'll probably be pickable in the next week or so, couple of weeks. And those aromas are more developed than some of the ones which are still in burr, because we can't get any flavours off these at the moment. So Sean's going to come along and check these out over the next few weeks and see if we get any other flavours developing. But the growers here are really liking the early stuff because it fits in well with the picking windows.
Right.
All the late varieties that seem to be coming through at the moment in the breeding programs, this is something new that could give us a real advantage in hop picking.
It's not a precise process. You look at many different varieties and many different plants, and so ultimately you're right. You get the samples out to the brewers, give them a chance to brew with it and get their reaction. And ultimately, that's what drives it.
Yeah, absolutely.
If that's what the brewers want. And
we might get a plant that doesn't look quite so good, but if it smells great and it brews great, we'll keep it in the program as well, because it's all about what the brewers can do with it rather than how good
you don't want to throw anything out.
Absolutely.
At this point, you want to do as much analysis and study as you possibly can. And the grower has told us that agronomically he's very excited about all these. He says they look really good, and he says that they're healthy and would do well in the marketplace.
So Sean's got a bit of work to do over the next few weeks. We're coming back out in September to have a rub and a sniff of some of these as well, and take some more time to test them for flavour, and hopefully we'll come out with some really nice new varieties in a few years' time. Fingers crossed. Right, Chris, this is one you particularly liked.
It is.
It's the one that you said you got a bit of coconut on it, and it reminded you of an American variety?
Yes, well, or the original Japanese variety.
Or the original.
Yeah. It does have a sort of sriracha uniqueness to it.
Yeah.
It's very definitely get that coconut at the inside of the coconut. Yeah. Maybe dill as well. It's a very unique variety, and I imagine this is going to convert people, just like the sriracha does. Yeah, it really does. But
what do you think this would work well in?
Yeah, I think this would be great in a Belgian. If you wanted to really like an interesting sort of brightness to the beer, I think with a Belgian this would be great, or even a saison actually as well.
When developing a hop, we're looking at benefits to both grower and brewer.
It's primarily designed for 3 goals: finding new and intense hop aromas, hop varieties with increased yield potential, and hop varieties with increased disease resistance. We work closely with growers like Mark, who, being prepared to take risks, helps us bring the time frame of the programme down. Some programmes can take at least 10 years before varieties are made commercial. We've found results within 5 years. For the brewers, we're looking at trends, quality of aroma, popular aromas, and more disease-resistant replacements for traditional varieties.
So what's the name of the hop that we're using today?
SIBA 246.
Just come out of the judging of these new varieties, these potentially new varieties coming through. This one particularly grabbed your fancy, N20. What did you like about it?
Well, super interesting to see what's going on with the program. I think first off, looking at it visually, it's beautiful. It's a gorgeous cone. It's really nice, really nicely handled. To me, flavor-wise or aroma-wise, it's almost like an artificial fruit candy.
Right.
So you got some sugary components to it, some fruit characteristics, not sort of true fruit, but almost an artificial in a good way. I actually think it could work really well in a pale ale.
The Aroma Fest is a great way of assessing the hops after they've been assessed by the growers in the field. It's really important to find out what the brewers like and how they think it's going to react in a pint of beer.
Slept out N20, what did you think?
Yeah, well, there's some really interesting ones, and there was 3 standouts. But for me, N20 was my clear favourite. Instantly reminded me of Galaxy, which is quite interesting. It's not exactly the same, but the initial sort of thing that took me to was something when I was in a bag of Galaxy. A lot of tropical fruit, but quite resinous and piney at the same time. And a bit sort of soft peach coming through at the end, which I found quite interesting. It also almost comes across like as a sweetness as well, like a sort of a candied fruit kind of character as well. But I think it would work really well in sort of a really strong, sort of full-bodied IPA with a load of fruit forward nose character.
The World Series Aroma Fest not only looks for the visual qualities, but will also find the best sample from around the world with both our existing commercial varieties and brand new selections.
Well, you've just come out of the judging. Have a look at some of these new seedlings we've got coming through. N9 particularly caught your fancy. I don't think it was your favourite, was it? But
it was a toss-up between N9 and N20. 20 was very intense, pineapple, kind of grapefruit, but it was, it was similar to other hops that I've smelled before. Whereas this one was there was something a little bit different about this, which I liked. It was kind of boiled sweets, confectionery, kind of going along that way, a little bit more kind of berry fruit, cherry kind of aroma. So I just thought it was different. That was the point of difference from that. Although the other was still.
Any idea what sort of beer this might work well in?
I think a session IPA or a session pale ale. It might not be something that could stand up to being a single hop and really carry through the beer on its own. I think it'd be quite nice to blend in.
With another couple of fruity hops.
Yeah, I think so. Yeah, definitely.
Brilliant. You selected as N8. Was that your favourite or one of your favourites? Were some other ones in there you like?
I believe on that group that was
This was the favourite. What particularly attracted you to this?
I liked it was really oily. So the touch was already straight away. I've tropical peach and apple. Nice. Which is something I really like. And again, a blonde pale beer would work. Blonde beer with that.
Yeah. Very good.
Not necessarily IPA style, but a blonde.
Fantastic. Lovely. Fantastic. First of all, what were your impressions of the samples in there? Were they interesting?
Very interesting, yeah. There was some good tropical notes coming through on a lot of them, and some more individual characters with them that could be quite interesting for beers.
Yeah, excellent. And you selected that N20 as your favourite.
Yeah.
What particularly attracted you to it?
Well, first was the nice big fat cones,
They have some beautiful
which always looks good. And then on the rub, it had that. What were my notes? I said tropical, pineapple and pears, but it had that tropical character.
Yeah.
I particularly like pineapple coming through, and I got kind of a pear drop kind of flavour coming through, and I think that translates very well into a beer.
We picked out N9 as your favourite. Can you tell me what you thought about it? What was the overriding quality in there that you liked?
Yeah, I mean, this came from sort of the middle of the batch, where I wasn't expecting the aromas to be quite as punchy as they were. This one just jumped out at me. I think it was surrounded, it was just full of fruit. It was a bit like going into a sort of veg shop. You get a lot of smell coming into that as you're on the rub, and I thought it was just brilliant.
Vegetables or fruit?
Fruit and
veg.
Let's go for
fruit veg. Yeah, that's nice. So, and what sort of beer do you think this one would go in?
I would put that into a nice English pale ale. I think that will go into just to make that sort of nice big fruity flavour on the side of the pale ale. It'd be very good.